I was told to deliver this message. You think you're invincible because you got money, bombs, guns, and planes, killing babies, innocent people. I think you're insane. Chaos and destruction is the name of your game. Somebody's got to stop you before the whole world goes up in flames. So he told me to tell you, I'll fight
for my brothers. We can go to war. Fighting for my father, I will give my life for. I feel so alone in this white man's world. Whip it in the kitchen, watch that white turn pearl. Standing on the corner, standing on my phone, standing with my gangsters, but I'm standing on my own. If you got to be alone, split you like you be alone. Sacrifice my life, understanding each his own. Toast to the keys of success. Bel Air rose on my breath. I've been a student since '03, and we can fight till we see peace.
I fight like that. 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 I fight like that.
Let me holler at you for a minute, give you game. Real scrappy, love the bottom, Buddha bang. Trigger happy, and everybody in the game. You shot your family and didn't even know it, man. Same rules, same code, with a different slang. Struck him out, now they took him out the picture frame. Mama, don't cry, we gon' get by. 2 weeks later, got killed in a drive-by. Why must we fight amongst each other? Reach one, each one, teach one, my brother. I teach them how to fight on the grass and in the class. Snoop Dogg, all stars, yes sir, they coming fast. D1, football, we won. Now proud of my son, Lil Snoop, yes sir, cause he won. Right on, SC, fight on. We 100, keep it coming, dip, slip, slide on, light on.
I fight like that. 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 I fight like that.
Watching the warriors, the story of the rebels. You from the ghetto, did you know never to settle? I'm shooting common on the streets, I'm a pharaoh. Battling in African-American apparel. Fists on a t-shirt, youngins doing street work. Grinding till they teeth hurt, that's because they need work. Working till the feet hurt, trying to get my soul right. Used to be on old bikes, serving them that cold white. Wars in the winters, the block is hot in summers. Today's mathematics, we know it's strength in numbers. To the bosses and the runners, the hustlers and the stunners. We fight for the hundreds, we fight for the oneness.
He fights with the heat. He fights with the sleet. He said, I am who I am. I can't be beat. Nobody has won a war against me.
I fight like that. 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 I fight.
All of the nations of the earth as we speak are angry. They're angry because governments cannot suffice the needs of their people. They're angry because a few have gotten wealthy at the expense of the many. And the poor and the sick and the weak and the unlearned multiply. And the value of their lives are diminished by the rich and the powerful. So that when human life is devalued, that in the eyes of man you are unworthy of the gift of life. then it is easy for another human being to take the life of another human being that he or she has devalued. Black life in America is devalued. Hispanic life is devalued. Even poor white life is devalued. There's a way that I have to behave. I'm free, but I'm not free to rob you of yours. I'm not free to take from you what does not belong to me. So if I will construct my life according to these righteous principles, then between man and man, man and woman, peace. Between race and race, peace. Between rich and poor, peace. We have our beautiful Mexican family. This once was theirs. So you can't say to them they are aliens. That's a horrible word to use for former owners. I see my indigenous family here. Many tribes, but they're really one great nation of people that now must be reunited with themselves. So it's their time now, as well as ours, that God would intervene in our affairs and bring the bottom rail to the top. The government is not rehabilitating soldiers. When they send you away to kill. When you come home, they gotta reconstitute you for civilian life again. Make sure you have a job so you can take care of your family, but they're not doing it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, a woman can do anything that a man does, and the only thing he forbids the woman to do is the thing that degrades her. So how high can you go? High as you want to. Why would God allow the female to wear his attributes if you can't be a manifestation of that attribute? Women, you got to be set free. What God has put within you must be cultivated, must be developed, and must be used for the advancement of a nation and a world. I said to myself, Mr. President, why the hell don't you go to the wicked police department? Why the hell don't you stand up and tell them that your killing of black youth and brown youth is not gonna hold no more? Why don't you stand up? God's world is in need of a truth that will set up a government where everybody can live in peace under real freedom, real justice, and real equality.
This company stands for freedom and independence. Times are difficult, but we want to show you how you can act independently and take your life in your own hands. Wherever you are, whatever you do, Freebay will show you the right way. Be a part of us and let your adventure begin with Freebay.
This show is empowering. This show is about community.
This show is enlightening.
This show is about growth. Let us make man. Let us make man. Let us make man.
Let us make man.
Let us make man.
Jaden has $1 bill, 1 quarter, and 2 pennies. How much money does he have? Jaden broke. Jaden has $1 bill, 1 quarter, and 2 pennies. How much money does he have? Jaden broke.
Hey, what's happening, my Freebay friends? Todd Falcone here. Super excited to announce that I am going to be speaking at your upcoming October 10th Freebay Evolution training event. Now, this is an event that you do not want to miss. I believe that this is an evolutionary time for you guys, and certainly this training event is one not to be missed. So whatever you do, get yourself registered for this event. Do not miss it. Make sure you contact all of your team members, and they need to be at this event. This is a must-attend experience for anybody in Freebay that wants to win. What am I going to be bringing to the table? I'm going to be speaking very directly with you on exactly what you need to be doing right this very minute in order to succeed now, as well as share some strategies with you on what it takes to last long-term in this business and understand what real leadership means in the network marketing profession. So again, whatever you do, do not miss this training event, October 10th. I'm going to become I'm going to come swinging with everything that I've got to share with you exactly what you need to do to win. So get yourself registered, get your team registered, and come ready to learn. I'll see you on October 10th. Looking forward to it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Eric Worre. I'm the author of GoPro, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. I want to say hello to everyone in Green Bay. So make sure that you load it up. Make sure you take advantage of it. I'll be bringing some of the best I have on October 10th. I look forward to talking to you then. Until then, make this day an amazing day and go out there and make your dreams come true.
If you're having a bad time right now, it cannot last.
Poor people talk about money all the time. Rich people talk about things. Wealthy people, they talk about ideas.
Instead of waiting for someone to give you a job, create your own work.
He was a Bahamian evangelical Christian and ordained minister. He founded the Bahamas Faith Ministries International. He was the CEO and chairman of the International Third World Leaders Association. He's Myles Munroe, and here's my take on his top 10 rules for success. Rule number 5 is my personal favorite, and make sure to stick around all the way to the end for some special bonus clips. And as always, as Myles is talking, if he says something that really resonates with you, please leave it in the comments below and put quotes around it so other people can be inspired as well. Enjoy.
Change is inevitable. Change is also the principle of life. That means everything that is alive will change. And even things that are not alive will change. You know, a lady came to me, she says, I came to the Bahamas for the last 10 years, and I missed 4 years. And I came here this past month, and everything is different. The airport is new, she said. What happened to the old airport, she says. In other words, even the things not alive are changing. The way the river runs down the mountain is wearing away the mountain. You go back to that mountain 10 years later, and the river is wider. Change is in creation. It's part of life. So here is the question then. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. It says, to everything there is a season, and to every purpose under heaven there is a time for it. To everything there's a season. How many things have a season? Everything. This is one of the best news I ever got in my life. When I understood this, I was a teenager, and it changed my life. When I understood that everything is a season, let me tell you why. If you're having a bad time right now, it cannot last. If you cannot find a job right now, that is only a season. If your business is going in the wrong direction, it's a seasonal slide. If nobody wants to marry you, that's only a season. There's going to come a season when everybody want to marry you. You got choices. If you have no money right now, the good news is I am seasonally broke. Tell your neighbor, it's only for a time. That's the good news. That's why we are always reminded, never make a permanent decision in a temporary problem.
Success is not something you pursue. Success is a matter of becoming a person of value. We should not be pursuing money. We should pursue purpose. We should pursue vision for ourselves and for our countries, for our communities. We should be not pursuing things. We need to pursue ideas. That's right. I always say that there are 3 types of people in the world. There's poor people, there's rich people, and there's wealthy people. Poor people talk about money all the time. Rich people talk about things. Wealthy people, they talk about ideas. Rich people, poor people, and wealthy people think differently. For example, poor people, they pursue money. Rich people pursue things. Wealthy people pursue ideas. And so that constantly there's a different way of thinking. I hope that the third world countries and the young people of our nations will become ideas people. You know, ideas control the world, not money. And ideas attract money. So I think if we minimize this desire to get money and elevate the creativity of new ideas, we'll find that financial results will naturally flow to it. Bill Gates didn't pursue money; he pursued an idea. Stephen Jobs, the late Stephen Jobs, who invented the Apple computer and the iPhone, he never went after money. He developed an idea. And I think if you think of all the wealthy people in the world, it was ideas that made them wealthy, not money. That's right. So I think we need to switch it, reverse it. Don't pursue money and then try to get an idea. Get an idea and money to pursue the idea, and you become a byproduct as far as wealth.
I tell our young people, I say to you right now, stop looking for employment. Why don't you position yourself differently and look for deployment? To be employed means that somebody else is benefiting from your energy. To deploy yourself means that you are using your own energy to be productive. So instead of waiting for someone to give you a job, create your own work. That's why I tell people there's a difference between your work and your job. Your job is what they train you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Your job is your skill, which they can fire you from at any time. But your work is your gift. No one can take that from you. Your job is where you get compensation for activity. Your work is where you get fulfillment because you love it so much. Your job you can retire from. Your work, you can never retire from your work because your work is you. So when a person discovers their work, they no longer need a job because their work makes them productive. So there are young people in this country who are full of talents, full of gifts. And I want to say this too. Every problem in life is a business. All businesses are simply someone solving a problem. So the more problems that are in Kenya, the more businesses available for young people to begin. And this is what I think we are lacking. We are trained to get a job. We're not trained to start a business. We are trained to let other people employ us, not trained to deploy ourselves.
Do we sit down and let change just happen to us? Or are we just watching change happening around us? Or are we aware that change is happening within us? Or are we going to be those proactive people who make sure that we affect what happens to us? Change also produces 4 types of people. They are in this room. First of all, there are people who watch things happen. Now, let me say something about change. This is important here. Not all change is improvement. You used to weigh 128. And now you changed. And for some of you, that's not an improvement. You lost your wardrobe. You lost your ability to climb up steps fast. You even lost the quality of health that you had. Change doesn't mean improvement all the time. But the problem is, without change, there can be no improvement. So you have to decide what to do with change. Change will happen. And if you are not careful, it could be destructive. So you have to determine what kind of change do I want in my life. And I want you as a young person, as a mother and a father, as a business person, to think about your company even, or your family, or your educational pursuit. What kind of classes do you want to take in college this year? What kind of grades do you want? What kind of relationships you want to have in your life? Who do you want to drop and who do you want to pick up in your relationships? What kind of people do you want to associate with? Where do you want to travel that you've never been? What are the books you need to read you never read before? The changes come with choices. So what kind of person are you?
We should not try to get everything now. You know, I went to college. I spent 8 years in universities. I have 3 bachelor's degrees, a master's degree, 5 doctorate degrees bestowed upon me by many different universities. And many of my friends that went to school with me in high school, they went straight to jobs. I went to college. You know, they started making money early. I delayed my money making for 5 years. And now, what they make in a year, I probably make in an hour. So, you know, we need to be more focused on developing ourselves rather than trying to grab money now. Focus on self-improvement, self-expansion, rather than trying to get your pocket to expand. Because the more valuable you make yourself, the more value you attract. You're not paid for how hard you work. You're paid for what you are worth to the organization. That's right. And the more intellectual development you have, the more spiritual development you have, the more psychological development you have, emotional stability, you become more valuable to the world. And let me say this finally. If you become valuable to the world will pay you to be yourself. That's right. So it's important for you to become a person of value, not to seek value in things. That's right. I get paid for what I know, not for what I do. And I think this is what we need to perceive as being most valuable. Do you know they actually call intellect? They call it capital. You know, intellectual capital is really a commodity. And so I want to encourage our young people to focus on discovering the purpose for your life, why God created you, and then discover your gifts, and then refine them, develop them, practice them, and then even begin to serve them freely to your community. Develop yourself, and in a short time, you'll discover that people will pursue you. Because when you develop your fruit and you maximize your fruit of your gift in life, just like a tree, trees never bring their fruit to you. Right. They just simply manifest them. You are attracted to the tree. So when you develop your gifts and refine your gifts, you don't need to look for followers. They'll find you. That's right. After all, leadership is not about finding followers. It's about followers being attracted to what you have. And this is true commodity.
The power for me to be successful was not in the teachers, it was not in the educational system, it was not in my culture, it was not in my society, it was within me. And I began to think, God, if you are a good God, why am I poor? If you are a great God, why are these people better than me? If you make me in your image, why are they special and I'm a monkey? And that night, no thunder, no lightning, no earthquakes, nothing. I just heard a voice in my mind. And the voice said, I ask you to believe me and you will be saved, not them. And that night, I made a commitment to believe what God said. 13 years old, I said, okay, I believe that I have the power to experience far beyond all I can ever ask, think, or imagine. 13 years old. And that's when my pursuit of God began.
When was it that you realized you wanted to become a preacher?
You know, I didn't want to become a preacher. Matter of fact, today I still don't consider myself a preacher. I think it drove me to have a passion to help everybody who's been oppressed. My passion is to make sure that no one should live under what I experienced. I never desired to be a minister. I desired to help people. You should never judge your success by other people's accolades. You judge your success by God's instruction to your life and how well along you are with that instruction. Because I found out something in life, the average human being is so mediocre that to be a genius, just do a little extra. Y'all missed that. People are so normal. To be an expert, just go 1 inch abnormal, and they think you're great. So don't judge your success by the masses, what they think of you. Judge yourself by what God told you to do. Can I put it another way? When experience is your best teacher, then progress is imprisoned. Experience could be a curse. I've been taught by my parents years ago that experience is the best teacher. I don't believe that anymore. Experience could cause you to stop progressing because you keep judging your dreams by your experience or your vision by your experience, and you end up saying, I tried that before, or I never saw anyone do it that way. And you begin to use your experience to stop your progress. This is why God always makes history with young people. Because old people got too much experience. You all remember the story with David and Goliath? The problem with Saul, who was the king, was he had experience. And he tried to put his experience on David. He told David, wear my armor, wear my shield, use my sword. David put it on. David said, this thing is too heavy. And he went out and fought the giant with something the giant never saw before. A sling. How do you fight a rock with a sword? The giant says, what is this thing he's using? The giant is trained, experienced with a sword. So he expected an experienced swordsman to come and fight him. But here comes a little boy with equipment he ain't never seen before. We need some people like that in the 21st century who come with some things that they ain't never seen at the office. Think of some ideas that wreck the whole system. That's why Steve Jobs will always be in history as a great inventor. He keeps defying his own experience. I was reading his watching a documentary on him 2 weeks ago, and they said that when the iPhone came out, they said to him, that's it. You the ultimate, this is it. He said, no. And he came up with this idea about the iPad. And he said, the people in the company said, it will never work. Why? It's an abnormal size. Either you got a computer or an iPhone. Put it in your pocket or put it in your briefcase. He said, this thing in the middle ain't gonna work. He says, look, we're gonna make this. Now the iPad is the most common machinery people use in the world. Sometimes you got to defy your own board to take progress. Experience, consult your experience, but never let it rule you.
Shakespeare says, sweet are the uses of adversity. Ooh, I like that. Sweet are the uses of adversity. He says, you must learn to use adversity for your benefit. One of the wealthiest men in the United States, I just finished reading his book again, his new edition. It's called Cheaters Never Win. He's a multi-billionaire. He probably has products in this room today or in this building somewhere. He is the largest manufacturer of plastic, paper, cups, and paper plates, and forks in the world. The company is called the Huntsman Enterprise, multi-billionaire. Here's what he says in this book I just finished reading. He says, if there is a silver lining to bad times, it is this. When facing severe challenges, your mind is normally at its sharpest. No wonder why he's a billionaire. When facing challenges, he says, your mind kicks in and thinks beyond the norm. He also says another statement I thought was interesting. He said, humans seldom have created anything of lasting value unless they were tried or hurting. Benefits from crisis. This is when you are supposed to become a greater leader, a better leader, because your skills must be tested. I put it another way. Abraham Lincoln was an amazing guy. He became the greatest president in the midst of trials. Today, I still am convinced he is the greatest president of the United States in history.
because he used adversity to create a federation that lasted 300 years and still were working. But it came out of the fires of crisis.
My definition of leadership is very simple yet complicated. I believe that leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, not manipulation. And that inspiration comes from a passion, which is motivated by a sense of vision and a sense of purpose. So leadership is first personal, then it's corporate. Leadership is not something you pursue, it's something you discover. Leaders are born when a human discovers something more important than their personal ambition. Leadership is
You don't pursue it?
Leadership is, no, true leaders do not seek followers. Leaders actually are pursuing a passion toward a purpose that gives them a sense of destiny.
Yeah.
For example, one of the greatest leaders of example that I use is Nelson Mandela, one of your great presidents. He never sought followers. Think about it. He discovered a purpose that was more important than his private preservation, his private ambition. He pursued that purpose privately. It attracted people. So leaders don't seek followers. Followers are attracted to leaders. Leaders are more concerned about discovering a purpose to improve the life of humanity that's more important than their personal ambition. So they sacrifice themselves to accomplish something for the greater good.
Yeah.
We find that very rarely. Most people we call leaders are simply professional manipulators. And they actually are more concerned with their own promotion than promoting the people.
As you look back over your life, if there's just one thing that you could do differently, what would it be?
That's always a tough question. I get that question asked a lot. I'm not sure, because everything that happened in my life produced me. Even the negatives, even the things that I might have failed in, the things I've made mistakes with, they were fantastic classrooms for me. And I believe the best thing in life to do is not to regret and try to change what happened, but to interpret it properly, maximize it, and use it to serve other people. And that's what I want to do with my past.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I made this video because Abel Solomon asked me to. So if there's a famous entrepreneur that you want me to profile next, leave it down in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. I'd also love to know, what did you hear today that inspired you the most? What was the biggest lesson that you learned after watching this video? I'd love to hear from you. Please leave it in the comments and I'm going to join in the discussion. I also want to give a quick shout out to Max Young. Max, thank you so much for picking up a copy of my book. It really, really, really means a lot to me. So thank you guys again for watching. I believe in you. I hope you continue to believe in yourself and whatever your one word is. Much love. I'll see you soon.
I want to focus on discovering and releasing, how to release your hidden greatness. Every human being in this room and those watching by the internet, you have inside of you, I have no doubt about it, greatness. But most people will die with their greatness on the inside. And this is why we have this conference. Because we don't want you to be one of those persons who die with their greatness. Let me say a few comments about greatness. Every human desires two things in life. I want you to write them down. Two things every human wants. 6 billion of us, and now 7 billion since last April on this planet, want two things. And everything you do is motivated by these two things. One, we want power. Every young person, every old person wants power. We got to talk about what power is. And the second thing we want is greatness. We don't talk about these too much, but every human being wants power and they want greatness. This is why we are motivated to wear certain clothing. We call them power clothing. This is why we try to join a gang, because being in a gang of people gives you power to threaten other people. This is why we would actually want to steal money or gain money, because money gives you power to buy things that you want to make you feel important. Everything we do is motivated by these two things, power and greatness. Now, I want to mention something about power. What is power? Power, I want you to quote it with me out loud up on the board so you can remember it when you leave here. What is power? Read it. Power is the ability and the capacity to control circumstances and in the environment. That's power. Power is what? The ability to control circumstances and to control your environment. That's what power is. And everybody wants it. The politician wants it. The banker wants it. The parent wants it. The young person wants it. Everybody wants power to control circumstances. What is greatness? Write this down. Greatness, out loud please, is a sense of value, importance, and significance. That's greatness. Great is when you feel that you are important to the world. You feel great when you feel that you are valuable to society. Greatness is when you feel that you are significant to your generation. In other words, the desire for all of us to be great and to control our environment is natural. You, as a 16-year-old, your desire to become the head of the class is a desire for greatness. You, as an 18-year-old, your desire to go to college and get a degree so you can get a better job, so you can make more money, so you can buy things you want, is a desire for control, a desire for greatness. And this is why people get in trouble. They're pursuing power and greatness. Now, let me repeat again. The pursuit of power and greatness is natural. As a matter of fact, if you don't want to be great, something's wrong with you. If you have no desire to be powerful, something's wrong with you. Every person here desires these things. I put it this way. God is not against your desire for greatness. He's not against your desire for power, because God created you to be great.
Potential is who you are, but no one knows it yet. Potential is who you could become, but you haven't become it yet. Potential is how far you can go, but you haven't gone yet. In other words, potential is never what you've done. Because once you've done something, it ceases to be your potential. Potential, therefore, has to do with what you haven't done yet, that you can still yet do. And that's why I am after you. I came after you because I'm bored with what you've done. I'm bored. You got a PhD, so what? It's over. What's left? That's right. Potential, therefore, is not about what you've achieved. It's what you haven't achieved yet that you could achieve. And this is why I say this, that the enemy of your potential, write it down, is your last success. The greatest enemy of your potential is your success. Because when you become successful at something, it tempts you to stop. This is why I am always nervous about people's accolades concerning me. I don't trust too many awards people give me. I have so many degrees bestowed upon me, and I hide them away because I don't even want to see them. They may stop me from moving. Nothing is more dangerous than counting on your success. And so you possess the potential, and it's hidden.
No unity, no power. White power for white people. Black power for black people. 1967. The Black Panther Party. The movement. Freedom.
Let's talk about freedom. Freedom.
We will not bow down to racism. We will not bow down to injustice. We will not bow down to exploitation. I'm gonna stand. I'm gonna stand.
Now this is time to free your mind and your soul. Yo, our story has never been told. Ladies, you got to demand what you want, and what we want is respect, right?
Come and take a walk with me, closer walk with me, see what only I can see. Sisters, check this. Watch this.
Turn us loose, set us free from all the chains that bind me. Let us run in our own direction. Let us go, set us free from all this propaganda and lies that your people try to teach us. I know why would like to bring us down, because we have all the belongings. You try to tell us that our lives don't mean anything, but we know so much better, so we're gonna take up the freedom. Freedom for my body, freedom for my mind, freedom for my spirit. All this time you've been telling us these lies, but now we finally figured out yeah, all that we would never wise up, but we'll show the how black female can do. We'll still you continue to keep us oppressed, but no, we ain't going out like that. Oh no. All these lies and all this propaganda you want us to take, we're gonna take it. Freedom from my body, freedom from my mind, my spirit, freedom for my body, freedom from my heart, my soul. I see the fear in your eyes, surprise, so cover it all. I know just who I am and what I wanna do. I can make you run, make you hide from all your ancestors' transgression that you hold inside. Sisters rising up and sing that our time is here. We're taking back what's been lost for years.
Let the heaven of a system embrace you. Embrace them all the guys.
All these lies and all this propaganda that you want us to say, we're gonna take out. Freedom from my mind, freedom for my
Ready for Revolution, and welcome to another edition of Class in Session. I'm your brother and friend, Brother Eric Trey Muhammad. I'm challenging all of you to continue to fight for your freedom. I'm challenging all of you to continue to fight for your freedom. I want to thank all of you who follow the strategies of realizing our goal to bring you consistently, daily, Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. Class is in session. We're going through some Facebook calls and bugs, but I've been challenged for the programming that we do. So a lot of the programming has been blocked on the several platforms that we share. So a strategy that appears to work is that when we air, share it immediately. Share it immediately and just come on back. Just share it immediately and come on back. And of course, we strive to always stream worst case scenario on YouTube because we're desirous of getting information to you and to us all. I'm gonna go through a couple of housekeeping notes and then we're gonna unpack a little bit of Miles Monroe. And someone asked me, why do I always quote him? Well, it's obvious now. I took the opportunity to show you what I've been exposed to of this incredible man. May God be pleased with the life that he has lived and the legacy that he leaves. Pay yourself first, folks. That's the mantra. 1/10 of a gram of gold saved every day creates a future free from lack and want. Create a future for yourself. Save gold, and your generations, your children's children will thank you later for what you've done today. Also, make sure that you find yourself positioned, okay, to join our classes in session every Monday through Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern. We are in session, okay? So make sure you're there. And of course, runtowealth.info, www.runtowealth.info. Please sign up to the email page or the email service associated with runtowealth.info. Many of you saw the introduction of our launch, our official launch of Freebay, which is October 10th of this year. October 10th, that's this week. You have only up to the 8th to get your free tickets and get as many people as you can to that opportunity. Those of you who are wealth builders right now, you have the opportunity by just going into your back office, look under your F booster, your Freebay booster, and look under events and invite everybody and get your ticket as well. There are only 10,000 seats and you can only register the free seating up until the 8th of October. All right, so you have 3 days to drive as many people as you can to this experience because it's going to be one for the record books. All right, you want to be there. And those of you who go ahead and sign up with your email, join our email list here. That's the first thing you'll receive from us. You'll receive an invite to this opportunity. So www.runtowealth.info. Make sure you get it. Make sure you're part of that VIP list, y'all. Very, very important. Glad to see you, Sister Yvonne Busy Bird. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. I want to thank all of you for being a part of what would have been a discouraging or difficult morning for others. But for a wealth builder, as Busy Bird said, it's a can't stop, won't stop movement. This is who we are, and this is what we do, folks. So I want to thank all of you for still hanging in there and being a part of this wonderful wealth building legacy and being a part of this wealth building movement, because this is a movement, folks. All right. And of course, our YouTube channel, which many of you are on this morning, Sylvia Clark and others, thank you. Subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe to that channel and share so those notifications are there for you. So the Eric Toure Muhammad YouTube channel, as well as the Run to Wealth Freebay AG platform on Facebook. You're welcome to join all of these experiences to find us wherever we are. With that being said, today's power call, this is Monday, y'all. The Mighty Monday Power Call, 10:45 a.m. WWW Eastern Time, www.goldrocks.info, as well as our 12 noon presentation. I believe we have the Zen Master this morning, Coach Dwayne Taylor. And then at 12 noon, we have the Wealth Builders presentation on the same platform, Dr. Rhonda Hollins, www.goldrocks.info. If anyone's available to share that password, we would love to have it here on this platform so we can share. And I want to thank you, Sister Cece, for battling through the storms of trying to find your location. And thank you, sisters, for sharing to make sure everybody got to where we are this morning. So 12 noon, we have Dr. Rollins doing the presentation. And then at 9 p.m., we'll have the presentation this evening as well as the outrageous, as Mr. Delco calls it, compensation plan. Okay. Don't wait. Act. Let's go. All right. So find yourselves in the place to be on www.goldrocks.info. That's www.goldrocks.info. All right. Hard Fact Friday. Well, this has had a lot to do with our issues this week with our platforms, because we bring it. We're going to bring it to you raw. We're going to bring it straight with no chaser. Hard Facts Fridays are exactly what they are. Every day is a hard fact. This past Friday was just a little rough for some folk, and found it fit to challenge my ability to share. Okay, so tune in again for Hard Facts Friday. We can't stop, won't stop. All right. So Hard Facts Friday every Friday morning on Class in Session from 8 to 10. I'm sorry. Listen to me. From 8 a.m. Okay, not to 10. From 8 a.m. All right. Let's look at a couple of things from Dr. Monroe. And excuse the lighting and so forth. We're moving from one part of the home to the other to make sure. So I'm not in the office this morning. I'm back in the den. Okay, so now, Miles Monroe, his 10 points. Thank you, Mr. Evan Michaels, for sharing. Everything is a season. Pursuing your ideas, that's the way of the wealthy, folks. Creating your own work, employment, is just a deployment of your energy to do other people's work. All right? But your work is what you are born to do, he said. What you are born to do. Your work is you, the talents and gifts that God has given you. And then here was a real awesome point that he made in that we miss or lack as a result of our training. Check it out. He said, every problem in life is a business. Every problem in life is a business. So you think about it. When you walk the street and you see yards that are unkept, you might have a business card right there and say lawn care. You find yourself going through supermarkets and you say, man, if there was an easier way to pull these items off the shelves, you might create an item locator. You know, when you see the sea of storms that are happening all around the world, job loss, economic strife, okay, food deserts being created everywhere. When all these things happen, you find in that storm a way to preserve the money, the wealth, the integrity, and the sanctity of a family and a household by saving in gold. You understand? Every problem is a business, he says. So you never look at things as a problem. We're trained to not challenge problems. We're trained to create all kinds of anxiety behind problems. But the wealth building culture that we have in Wealth Builders Worldwide allows us to perceive these things differently. We never look at a thing and say, I can't afford that. We train our mind to teach us how we can afford it. That, my family, is the wealth building culture. Okay, he goes on. Create a positive change. Every change is not necessarily one to your liking, but every change can produce a positive result when we're aware of it, when we self-critique, when we do a self-analysis, when we look for self-correction and self-improvement. It can be different. Become a person of value. That was Mr. Carmichael's favorite, and it rang volumes. I didn't want it to be my favorite because it was his, but I got to submit, it was one of the actual jewels, the actual nuggets that came out of it. Now, what did he say? He said, if you become valuable to yourself, people will pay you to be yourself. Think about all the artists and entertainers who have come across our paths, and they're there for 15 minutes of fame and then they fade to the back. How is that, or why is that? Many times it's a talent that we've seen before And as that talent ages in the person, or as that moment of time passes for that person, we don't see enough of them or themselves for them to be long lasting. Michael Jackson broke that tradition by being so creative and paying attention to what his gifts were and what he wanted for a world, that he was able to speak generations. Imagine performing 30, 40 years of your life. And you touch every generation in your lifespan, before your lifespan, and their children. And so you have people who were 6, 7, and 8 years old when Michael Jackson transitioned in 2009. And they're still out here now replicating his dance moves, replicating his sound, replicating his production, replicating his image. Because he found a way to transcend being common, which was another point that he really drew down on. I'm talking about Dr. Monroe. Okay. He did say that becoming a person of value also creates attraction. Leaders don't look for followers. Followers look for leaders. Follow your passion. Defy your own experience. Mr. Best is always quoted in saying that a person's experience is never at the mercy of someone's theory. A person's experience is never at the mercy of another person's theory. You see? And when you defy your experience, meaning you don't accept it for being the gospel, just what it is, when you step a little further above and beyond the comfort zone of your experience, you have become an expert. There's a whole world out here that is upside down, topsy-turvy, not the wealth buildings world, not WBW. We have a grip and a handle on how we're going to pursue and keep our sanity and keep our mindset. And you need to get with us. You know, Dr. Monroe said that generally people of the world are mediocre because we just follow. We don't challenge. But when you dare to do just a little more than what's normal, it makes you an expert of your field. And the little bit that we're doing, saving 1/10 of a gram of gold a day, working on our personal development, sharing the opportunity with others, learning about the new movement of money and getting in the way of it. These 3 things have allowed us to be a voice and a force to reckon with, to reconcile with, to help heal an entire world. He said, use adversity for your benefit. Discover your purpose. You can't discover your purpose if you're not working. You cannot discover your purpose if you're not dream chasing. You can trip over it by accident and never even recognize it. But if you're chasing the dream, your purpose will find you. And lastly, learn from everything. Learn from everything. Folks, I want to thank you for the opportunity to share class and session with you. It is our desire, our task, our purpose to bring it every morning to you, Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. I want to thank all on the Eric Trey Muhammad Facebook page or wherever you find us. I want to thank all of you who participated in the presentation we did yesterday on Sunday before the Wealth Builders Worldwide training. 4 p.m. on Sundays. We hope to make that a regular mainstay where people can bring the people that you've prospected on the weekend or toward the weekend. We have a 4 o'clock presentation that we give that will allow you the opportunity to share the opportunity with them, and then they can move right into the 9 p.m. training on how to launch the business. Okay, so I want to thank all of you for participating yesterday. I want to thank all of you for allowing me to be part of your 3 ways. I can't be on all of them. You know, if I can't make your 3-way I can't make your three-way. But that's the power of the wealth building opportunity. There's so many of us who are willing. So don't get stuck on a favorite person. Learn and grow with your community, and you'll have all the help you need when you absolutely need it. So again, peace and power. I appreciate all of you. We got a couple more announcements, and then we are out. Of course, Free Bay is your free way to freedom. Don't forget that. Don't you ever, ever forget that, because you're on that road now. 10/10/2020, this coming Friday at 2 p.m. That's where we are. And of course, the Kafani Radio International Network. Tonight, we have Brother Kevin Millender, who's on the stream. Thank you, Brother Kevin. We'll see you and Sister Jacqueline this evening, Black Owned DC, on the Kafani Radio International page at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then at 8 p.m., we have Abundance is Your Birthright with Sister Katora Bryant and Hafisa Toure. And at 9 p.m. is Tammy Morrison, who comes back again to join us on her journey, her Carrot Bars journey. Kafani Radio International Network, no media has done more to globally elevate the culture and philosophy of our WBW family. And we're grateful to Brother Khalito Muhammad and the team at Kafani Radio. All right. So as always, I'm your brother and friend. Let's continue to stay busy. Let's continue to do all that we need to do in this wonderful opportunity. Take a screenshot of this event coming up on October 24th with Kafani Radio. This is the second annual benefit on behalf of Brighter Tomorrows, and it's for surviving victims of domestic violence. Okay, so it's Saturday, October 24th, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., and you can find your information and your tickets at www.kafanievents.com. All right, so take the screenshot of that, take the screenshot of our trainings, and make sure you're in the place to be, because the way to change the habits of a people is to change the nature of our thoughts. I want to thank all of you once again. Peace and power. And I'll see us all on the Power Call 1045. Forward.
Peace. Strong words. Love. Soul. And change. Yeah, this is Big Snoop Dogg. Coming at you live and direct. And I got something to say. You dig?
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, oh let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
Brother, 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 what will you discover if we come together and do it like we never? I'm just sick and tired. I'm fit to light the fire. Now put this on the wire. The devil is a liar. I do this with no hesitation. Meet me at the reservation. Elevating, educating, meditating, concentrating. Replenish ya, finish ya, opposite of sinister. And I do it for the minister.
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, so let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
Somebody need to stop the war. Man, the war ain't overseas, it's at your front door. And I done seen too many brothers shot up on the floor for more than drugs and some colors. And now you call us warlords. But if you can help it, then help it. But you ain't helping us. You so selfish and selfless, you wanna see us breathless and helpless. But I'ma hustle and tussle for all my brothers who struggle. Yeah, we bang the world. Now let's change the world.
Let's change the world, divided we fall, united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
No killing, no shooting, no dying, no lying, no gang banging, so no more mamas crying. Everybody get along, man, that'd be the perfect song. Peace in the streets as I sit back on my phone, chilling with the president. He let me in the White House, back to the castle with the minister. No doubt, shoes at the front door. Love is what you come for. Let's get it right and unite, but do it fine.
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, oh, let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.